Is wishing death on someone normal or is it not? Let's talk more about it. Hello everyone, my name is Spirit and welcome to my channel called Spirit Talks. I talk a lot about random things, sometimes about life topics, sometimes about pop culture, video games, movies. But today we're going to be talking about something a little bit more serious, wishing death upon someone. Why? What made you want to get to this point, right? The thought about wishing death upon someone and the psychology behind it. Is it wrongful to want this sort of request? You have to ask yourself, how did you get to this point? And have you taken any steps and precaution to avoid this particular person? Another question I ask you, the viewer, is that if by any chance this particular person did in fact die, let's say by natural causes, would things be better for you? Would life be better? Because you never know. What if you met someone else in life? They just happen to be much worse than the person you hated before. Is wishing death upon someone a matter of sin? Well, in my own opinion, how could it be a sin if it's only a thought, right? For those who do act upon their thoughts, that's when it becomes a problem. Let's say, for example, you wish for someone's death and they actually did die. Are you to blame for that? Even though you hated that person, is it your fault that they died? We thought that eventually it will be granted. The more we prayed for it, the more that we wish for it. If it's necessary for them to be gone, if there's any way for them to redeem themselves, we truly want people to change, but sometimes there's some people that are so irredeemable that maybe you think death is probably the only way for life to change. There's some people that are just so disgusting and so vile and evil, the way that they act, the way that they behave. Death by natural causes is probably the best solution for their life to be cut short, so they don't have to hurt anybody anymore. Their non-existence would be beneficial to you and your life. I truly believe in the expression of what comes around goes around, because I truly believe if a person is harassing you, that eventually he or she one day will get a taste of their own medicine. For one bully, there's probably another bully out there that would bully the bully. So you never know. Life works in mysterious ways, right? All right, let's go back to what we're talking about, how we sometimes have these thoughts. We don't invite these thoughts into our heads for no reason. These thoughts are developed through observation. Hate has never been conceived as a standard emotion. A person could find such emotions such as dislike, anger, or contempt. These types of emotions can lead to hatred. We can all agree that hate is a negative phenomenon. When someone is hoping for a person to die, most of the time there's an awareness that the thought is morbid, dark, and questionable. No sane person would ever feel joy from someone's death. They would feel comfort knowing that they wouldn't have to deal with this negative person anymore. This particular person that you dread so much and despise so much, you allow this person to control how you feel. But it shows the negative impact of someone that bullies you and humiliates you and harasses you. But that's the thing about life. Everyone feels a certain way. Not everyone has thick skin. Not everyone can control the way that they are. Hate is characterized by appraisals that imply by perception of a person or group, and thus the incapabilities to change the negative characteristics attributes to the target of hate. Life would seem unfair if it allowed bad people to slip away, unpunished, unreformed after death. How can a person or people do all these horrible things to someone and not pay the price? Our human brains tend to register and retain negative stimuli more quickly and last longer than the good ones. Still, death deletes nothing. It hurts to say this, but some harm never heals. Mercy is never mandatory. Even if that person has caused you so much misery, so much grief, and so much pain, yes, their flesh has vanished, but the history hasn't. Ask yourself this: why do we detest long dead strangers like Hitler, Osama bin Laden, and Charles Manson? Their evil outlives them, crystallized for an eternity. Their passing revived no victims. If we vented about how much we hated Hitler, there will definitely be an eager audience. But when we talk about someone that has caused us so much woes and pain, we'd hear crickets. Yes, we'd hear crickets because we were their only victims. When people hear what you say about them, their response would only be in denial. Sometimes they would even question that person or have some sympathy for that person, saying that they've probably lived a terrible life, that they've had a traumatic childhood. But when we talk about Hitler, it's undeniable of what the things he's done, to the point where it's taught about it in school. We're essentially haters for people like Adolf Hitler from the start, from the beginning. But it's only when we hate and wish for someone's death, for a person only that we know, society tends to deem that as ugly, uncivilized, and staying stuck in the past, refusing to let go. Why is that? Does it have to take someone to hurt multiple people, inflict and harm more than one person, so that society could allow you to feel the utmost hatred for them, to want them to die? Everyone's pain is different, and everyone's life is different. It makes you wonder that maybe death isn't the worst thing for some people. For example, there was a story about a Canadian woman named Susan Griffith. She suffered in the hospital from an illness called multiple system atrophy. MSA is basically a rare progressive neurological disorder that affects the brain and spinal cord. Susan Griffith believed that a prolonged and medicalized death is painful, undignified, futile, and the cruelest of death sentences. Especially as someone like Susan Griffith that dealt with multiple system atrophy, if you were close with this person, wouldn't you want to wish for their quick death, for a peaceful and quick death, so they wouldn't have to feel this horrible, horrible pain that they're dealing in the hospital? Having a terminal ill patient stick around longer when you know that they're dying is a bit cruel, especially when doctors and nurses tried everything in their power to cure this patient. It's not wrong for you to want someone you love to die in peace. It's just a human response. Still, our emotions doesn't dictate who we are as people. It's our actions that do. If we act on our emotions on a violent way, then we're no better than the people who make us miserable. And when someone wishes death upon themselves, or someone they hate, or someone they love that's in terrible, miserable pain, they're just hurting inside. They want the pain to go away because no one wants to live in pain. No one wants to go through life living in pain. We often believe that sometimes death is a solution to the pain, but in reality, death won't make things better. History does repeat. This life is all about acceptance. Accept the situation, accept yourself, and sometimes accept the person that's caused you so much pain and torment. Yeah, you can't change the situation, you can't change the person, but you could improve upon yourself. You could improve on the scenario that you're in. Take care of yourself. Self-care is very important. Mental health is very important. Improve upon your life. Just move on. Move on, my friend. The only best way to do that is to take the first step. Take the first step moving forward. Thank you, everyone. My name is Spirit, and I appreciate you so much for watching today's video. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this video topic discussion. By the way, FYI, I just want to let y'all know before I go, the last video that I posted, I think some of y'all thought I was like going through a lot of emotional pain, or like I seemed a little bit like sad or upset. I just want y'all to know that I get very passionate when I make videos like these. So you might think I was sad in the previous video, but I was just very motivational that day. So if you want to click on that previous video, there's the card right there. Click on it. Support the channel. Support what I do here. And I'll see you all on the next one. Take care.